Hello everyone, and welcome to take 32 of the most frustrating presentation I've ever given in my entire academic career. Frustrating because we are talking about my least favorite subject today, me. It's super awkward for me to talk about myself. I find that the longer you're exposed to something, the more used to it you become and the more boring it seems. And if there's one thing that I've been exposed to more than anything else in my entire life, it's me. So I always feel like I never have anything interesting to say. I'm hoping that I'm proven wrong. To start, I think the most important thing to know about me is that I have lived a very nomadic lifestyle. By this, I mean I've never lived in the same house for more than 2 years in the entirety of my life. I went to 3 different elementary schools. I went to middle schools in 2 different states. 3 different high schools, 4 colleges now. I don't really stay in one location for very long. It started when I was younger. My dad was in the Army and then he was in construction, so that kept us moving around. After that, his career progressed and that sent us up to Minnesota, and we just couldn't find a home we were happy with, so we kept moving until we found the right one. Still hasn't happened yet, but they're searching. The good news is because of this nomadic lifestyle, I've grown very close to my family. They were with me through all of it. My parents are still together, so I have them, and I have 3 younger siblings that I'm all very close to. My youngest sibling is actually getting ready to turn 13, and that's kind of blowing my mind. But we are a very tight-knit bunch. And it's usually not just us. We lived with my grandparents for a good portion of my life, and usually aunts and uncles and cousins, just always a very full house with us. Unfortunately, the moving around did kind of put a damper on my life plans. I never really wanted to go to college in Minnesota. I moved up here at the start of 8th grade. Never really felt a connection with anyone. Never really felt a connection with the state. Never really felt like I had a home here. So my one goal for college when I started was anywhere out of Minnesota. I got my wish. I was accepted into Fort Hays State University in 2014, the college that both of my parents graduated from, so I was very excited there. Unfortunately, it is in the middle of nowhere in Kansas, which is fine. It was an area I was familiar with. I had grown up there for a little bit in my elementary school days, so it wasn't completely foreign to me. However, my parents were not going to be there. Instead, they moved a couple thousand miles south of there down to Houston, Texas, and I was kind of left on my own for the first time, completely isolated from my family, from my support group, everything. It was actually while I was going to school there that my grandmother passed away. She was always someone that I looked up to, always someone that I was very close with, a huge inspiration for me. So having her pass away and not being able to be there with her and with my family was devastating to me. After that moment, for the first time in my entire life, my academic career was starting to go downhill. I got a D for the first time in my entire life, and it was difficult for me to focus on anything. It was difficult for me to want to be there and want to finish school and to have the motivation to go to class. And I didn't really have anyone to help me through it. Because of this situation, I had to drop out of school. And I always thought I would be the person who would go to college right after high school, 4 years, have my degree, start working. And that wasn't the case. dropped out, moved back home with my family, and had to rethink my entire life plan. It was a difficult ride. It was something that I never thought I would have to do. I didn't have a plan for it, but I'm here now. Moved back to Minnesota about a year ago, and I'm attending the U, which is exactly what high school me didn't want, but I'm satisfied with where I am now, and I am hopeful for my future. And I guess that's just a glimpse of my life. I hope to explain more in my paper, I guess. It's kind of a bad way to end the video, sorry.